Guys, this is Travis P11. I'd like to welcome you back to the channel. Well guys, what we're going to do today is just a quick cleaning and then eventual range test and tabletop review on this Colt Trooper Mark III chambered in 357 Magnum. I'm really excited to get this pistol out to the range, but before we do that, we're going to give it just a little bit of a cleaning. Now this pistol is on loan to us from Stan, the owner of SS Pawn. This is from his private collection. Guys, I want you to give Stan a call if you're ever out in Lexington, Nebraska, or just in Nebraska in general, and Stan will take care of all of your firearms needs. He's got some of the best prices anywhere, and I do shop from him on a regular basis. Alright, so to clean this revolver, it's generally pretty straightforward. If you've never cleaned a revolver before, this should help you out. If you've done it before, it's just kind of fun to watch it, to see this kind of an older revolver, to see how it's constructed and built, and the quality and finish and all that fun stuff. Again, this one's in great condition. A little bit of patina, a little bit of holster wear, but that's pretty much about it. To do the cleaning, you're going to need yourself a cleaning rod, a toothbrush, a couple bore brushes if you have any floating around. I've got a Hoppy's 9 bore snake. These are kind of nice. They were actually on clearance at Walmart for $4.97. This one's chambered for 357, 9mm, 380, and 38. We're just going to use some CLP for this cleaning. It tends to work well with this blued finish. I got some Q-tips, and then we just keep the little gearbox on standby. Actually going to do the scrubbing and cleaning with just some patches, standard outers patches. And then you can also have some cut up cotton t-shirts sitting around too if you need to do any extra scrubbing and cleaning and you don't want to burn through a bunch of your patches. So, alright, so without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so first it's always a good idea just to check and make sure that the pistol's loaded, even if you just got back from the range or even if you just simply brought it home. Alright, so we are totally empty. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to our next step. Okay, for this next step, we'd like to take a little bit of CLP, and I like to just kind of marinate the barrel, is what I call it. We are going to run the bore snake down it, but I would like to let the CLP just start to break things down a little bit while we clean up the rest of the pistol. You don't have to go crazy with this stuff when it starts running out the front. You know, obviously, that you've got plenty in there. And I also like to put a little bit in each of the chambers of the cylinder. Just kind of let that run down there. Now, you can run the bore snake through each of these 6 chambers, and I plan on doing that. When I'm cleaning this up. I do like to, like I said, prime it initially with just a little bit of CLP to start breaking down any powder residue. That's the one thing when it comes to pistols. Powder residue is probably that #1 enemy of a clean gun. I mean, that's going to be the truth on many guns, but especially your pistols where you get a lot of backblow and powder kind of going all over the place. Now, I heard a few people say that you can use some lead wipes on the front of the cylinder. They're wipes that you use to take the lead off your hands. I don't have any of those, so I can't test it, but we'll just be doing some scrubbing with just a nylon brush to take off any residue we have up there, lubricate the shaft of the cylinder, and we'll go from there. So the first thing I think we're going to go ahead and do is clean out the inside of the area where your cylinder rests. Want to wipe off the back and the front. You're going to get quite a bit of buildup in there, so don't be surprised. All you have to do is just go and get yourself a cotton patch or your cotton t-shirt, just a little bit of CLP. Again, don't overdo it, don't want to go too crazy. And just start scrubbing. Start scrubbing out the inside, wiping it off. Again, revolver cleaning videos are some of the easiest ones to make, but again, you can spend a lot of time, especially if you have a fairly dirty pistol, when it comes to getting all the crud and stuff off of it. I don't know how much this pistol was actually fired. I honestly can't even tell you when it was made. I know very little about the history of the Trooper Mark III, but I do intend on doing a little bit of research before I do a tabletop review on it and even before I take it out to the range. I also like to take a Q-tip and just put a little bit of CLP on the end of it and just kind of get down here in the area of the hammer and just kind of wipe it out and get out any grease or grime that might be down there. As you can see, we do have a little bit of buildup in there. Again, you don't want to get too much down there. You don't need a heavily oiled trigger group. The last thing you want to do is have any kind of fouling from oil buildup. Just a drop, okay, just enough to kind of give it a light lubrication and gently let the hammer down and kind of wipe along the sides here also, all right? Okay, let's go ahead and move on to your next step. I think what we'll do is go ahead and clean out the bore at this time. All right, so here we go. Okay, so if you've never used a bore snake before, I mean, you can use, a 30 caliber rifle bore snake if you want to. This one's made specifically for pistols. I think it might be just a little bit shorter. What you want to do is just put a little bit of your cleaning oil on the front, whether it's REM oil or CLP, a little bit on the back, and then what happens is you get that initial soak. You got these copper bristles here that are going to scrub out the barrel and turn, and then it's just simply going to swab out the rest of the barrel. So you run this through, 3 or 4 times, you're going to have a fairly shiny barrel. Now there's a lot of traditionalists that like to use a solvent, and they also like to use a cleaning rod, and you can do that if you want to. I did that for years. I'm just finding that the bore snake is a little bit easier. You're going to save a little bit of time, I think, in the end if you do so. Okay, let's go ahead and just pull this through. Okay, it's pretty straightforward. Again, you want to make sure that you use a bore snake that's made for the caliber of your gun. If you use a bore snake that's too small, you're not going to have very effective cleaning. If you have one that's too big, you risk tearing the bore snake. So again, you want to make sure that you just, it's not cool having to buy like 20 of these things, but the nice thing is, they cover multiple calibers. So I've got, I think 3. I've got one for 30 caliber rifle cartridges, 308, 30-06, that kind of fun stuff. And then I have one for 5.56, which I use for the AR because I tend to shoot that a lot. And then I also have this one right here that I just bought for the 9s. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and check the barrel. Barrel is nice and shiny. It's got strong rifling in there. We do have some powder residue on the front. We're definitely gonna need to wipe that off. Okay, now what I'm gonna do is I'm actually going to go ahead and run the bore snake through each of the chambers, okay, in the cylinder where you put your rounds. I'm gonna run through just 2 times on each one. I'm not even gonna show you how to do it. Drop it in, pull it through twice on each one, and you should have nice clean chambers. And then you also wanna scrub off the front, and we'll show that in the next step. So we're gonna use the bore snake in the cylinder, and then we'll come back and do a little bit of gun scrubbing. All right, hang tight. Okay, and if you did that properly and you ran that bore snake through each of the chambers, you should have nice, clean, shiny chambers in the cylinder. Should be all set to go. Put a little bit of CLP on the bristle brush right here. And again, if you have the lead wipes, use them on the front. Now, if this gun were stainless steel, I've heard some guys say that they use mag wheel polish on the front of the cylinder. And supposedly that also works well to take off. Now, I'm not going to do that because this is a blued pistol. You probably don't ever want to do that. There we go. Now, if you want, you can also run the bore snake through again when we get done with this, but if I don't see any particles fall in each of the chambers, I think we're going to be okay. And again, we're just basically wiping off some caked on lead or spent powder, for that matter. Very easy to clean it off, okay. Another thing I like to do is to push on this shaft right here and just wipe it off. It might have a little bit of oil on it. It might be a little bit dirty. Yeah, this is really an exceptionally clean pistol. It's definitely been taken care of by its previous owners, I can tell you that. Stan wasn't sure how many rounds had been put through this pistol, but it is a beautiful pistol. I mean, the grip is really cool. It's got this nice kind of old school feel to it. Definitely feels like it's something they would have carried on the set of Chips back in the day, And you guys that might be in your 30s or 40s, you know what I'm talking about. I know they remade that movie, but if you ever watched the original series, a lot of cool vintage cars and bad guys and guns and all that fun stuff going on. So, okay, it looks nice. Just wipe off the outside of the cylinder. We're going to go ahead and take our Q-tip again, just a little dab of some CLP on it, and go ahead and run it down this tunnel right here where your cylinder shaft is going to rest. You can sometimes get a buildup in there too. Again, you can start to see how some of that's coming off. And after you clean your guns enough times, eventually you seem to be using a little bit less and less cleaner, and it's easier for you to clean. Okay, that's not bad. Looks good. Let's see what else we got here. Let's go ahead. Oh yeah, one little problem area. We're going to go ahead and get a patch out for this. Again, you want to make sure you don't swing that cylinder closed. You don't want to put that kind of pressure on the parts for the cylinder, especially your moving parts. A little bit of CLP on the cloth here. You have an area above the barrel towards the rear that's going to get a buildup on it. And what I like to do is just kind of like floss it a little bit, get in there and kind of scrub it out. And again, this is really, really clean. I mean, that's just a little bit of light oxidation and that's about it. But and this is a very, very clean pistol. So again, after you run that bore snake through and you run it through each of the cylinders, you've got a clean bore, you've got clean cylinders. Okay, go ahead and close the pistol. Again, just one little drop CLP, that's it. So you can use Rem oil if you want to. And I'm gonna kind of let this soak a little bit. It's gonna be kind of greasy looking, but I will wipe it off later on after this stuff has a chance to kind of sink in a little bit, seep in a little bit. Front of that barrel, really not even that dirty. This is probably one of the cleanest guns I think I've ever had to clean. Used, for that matter. Okay, you can wipe off the back of the pistol grip, wipe off the top. Again, you don't want to overdo it with the oil. The last thing you want to do is have a greasy gun that you take to the range. Okay, again, you start to get a lot more buildup when you do that. Here we go. That beautiful patina, that finish on here is just awesome. Bluing is in fantastic shape. Very, very nice. There you go. Now, bad thing about it is once you take it and start handling it, obviously you start to get the fingerprints going on and all that fun stuff. Let's go ahead and wipe it off. Now, for lubrication, you're going to want to consult your owner's manual for points that need lubrication. If you have light oil on the cylinder shaft, just kind of wipe everything down. For the most part, you should be okay. Your revolvers are fairly maintenance free. You start to run into timing issues and stuff as you put more rounds on them, but just beautiful, beautiful pistol. There you go. Okay, we'll go and just wipe it off a little bit more. And I'm going to just set this up. I usually use my little Sharpie and just let it sit for a couple hours and kind of soak in. And it kind of gives it an opportunity to kind of put a protective coat on it and finish, and it'll keep the rifle nice and clean until we get it out to the range, which I'm hoping happens this weekend. I've got some ammo and we're ready to go. Now remember, I wouldn't say every 357 Magnum, but I'm assuming that most, if not all, 357 Magnums can fire 38 special. I don't know about the plus P route. I'm just going to be firing 357 Magnum ammunition through this pistol. I didn't pick up any 38 special in it. I find that it tends to be a little more jumpy in my hands than just regular 357 mag. Absolutely beautiful. Alright, so guys, that basically wraps it up. In a nutshell, that is the basics behind cleaning a revolver, and it's really all you have to do to bring this Colt 357 Magnum Trooper Mark III back to its prior glory. There we go, looking nice. And so that's it, guys. Alright, so I will be bringing you a range test on this pistol and also a tabletop review when I get a chance to put some rounds through it. I'll be putting probably close to 100 rounds through it. I want to make sure that I try a couple different types of ammo and just definitely make it, get a feel for the pistol to see how it runs. So, alright guys, that's it. I want to thank you for joining me today on this simple cleaning video. Guys, you can check me out on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I'm also over on VidMe with my channel Travis P11. Guys, you can support me over on Patreon with patreon.com/TravisP11. And you can also find me over on gunchannels.com. The name of my channel over there is Caliber Corner. If you don't have a Gun Channels account yet, you definitely need to go get one. It's free. It's a great place to kind of meet up and network with other people that are also into firearms, that are into prepping in the outdoors and so on. And with some of the hurricanes we've been having hitting us lately, it might not be a bad idea to look into do some prepping yourself. So there you go. All right, guys, I want you to have fun. I want you to be safe. Have yourselves a great week. And hope to see you soon. And we will talk to you soon. All right, bye-bye.